But
Andy Warhol once said, if somebody didn't know you, they weren't getting out enough. Is that true?
yeah, it was like 1986, and you know, at one point when we were doing one of my books, Pat Hackett is a very good friend of mine, and we said, is there any, because Andy wrote so much stuff. I mean, she made the Andy Warhol Diaries was just like 1/4 of everything he said. I always think she should do a newer one, even with more funny information. But she found a quote, you know, that she said, if you don't know Patrick McMullan, you're just not getting out enough. Because that was 1985 or 86. And because I went out every night. And that's with Andy. We used to compare, well, have you gone here? Did you do this yet? Oh, no, don't go. That's over. And because there was no cell phones then. You couldn't.
No.
You could go all the way uptown and be wasting your time.
That's gone. Away. How would you describe him?
Andy was, to me, a really funny man, very charming, extremely charming, and very intelligent. And he was many things to many people.
Are you surprised that his legend, his popularity remains as strong nowadays?
I'm not surprised at all. I think that he was such an inspiration. I mean, it takes 3 or 4 people to be one Andy Warhol, you know?
Maybe.
I mean, you know, I see different people that do different things. I'm thinking, you know, that's 1/3 of Andy. That guy's one. And so many people imitate Andy. And it's hard, you know, to be an original. And Andy was a great original.
Certainly was. We're going to take a break. As promised, coming back, talking about the iPhone photos. The website.
Cell phones.
Absolutely. There you go. And also talk about Fashion Week a little bit as well.
Yes.
You know something about that, I've been told.
Oh, boy, do I.
Patrick McMullan in a moment. Don't go away. Back once again, Patrick McMullan, our guest, the top nightlife photographer here in New York City. So talk to me about cell phones and photography.
Well, first of all, I had to really have a cell phone where I could do text messaging. It's the only way I could keep in touch with my son, because he never answers the phone. But I started noticing a lot of the girls, particularly the younger and the chic girls and the smart girls, even like Paige Powell, who was the publisher of Interview a long time, they all have the iPhone. And the way the pictures look on it, you can like press and make them bigger and turn it. And it's a fascinating way to look at photography. And so that really interested me. And I always thought, gee, wouldn't it be fun to be able to just look at my website, which is patrickmcmullan.com, and be able to just look up a person or whatever. And then you know, Michael Isabel from Hot Phone, he came to me and said that, look, I have this great company, and we're making this an app so that we can have this magazine. Would you be interested in being part of a magazine? And I said, well, you know, I've been using PMC, Patrick McMullan Company, as sort of a logo, a trademark, and we could make that the magazine. So, you know, we started talking, and I thought, wouldn't it be great for people to just get the best of quickly for, you know, you're on the run, you're waiting for a train, you're waiting for your lunch date to be able to check in with you know, a proper magazine.
Yep.
And from there, it developed from what I'm going to call PMC Social, which will be sort of the best of some of the social things, and, you know, PMC Fashion coverage, to a fashion shoot. And we have a good editor named Mike Merriman, and he is from Time Out International. And so he's very excited. He's a young fella, and he's very, very excited. And we've developed a good team to really try to bring the best of fun things, you know, that people can quickly know and see.
Wow.
So,
and how close to real time will this be?
September 8th is the launch, right in the middle of Fashion Week. I said, if we're going to launch this thing, it's got to be done during Fashion Week, because Fashion Week is like back to school time.
So if you go and you take some photos at a function of Fashion Week, it's going to be available?
Well, we're going to, again, edit and try to pick things that people that you'd want to see, or people that were dressed interestingly, and people that are well-known, people you should know, cute people, cute girls, cute boys, just so that people have some eye candy and some, you know, some fun. I mean, I went to National Underwear Day, and I thought we should put that on, because everybody likes to see attractive people in their underwear.
Well, who wouldn't? I didn't know that.
Things like all
I
kinds
didn't
of
even
things.
know there was a National Underwear Day.
Well, see, you learn. When you're in the fashion business, you learn a lot of things.
That's why we do an interview show, to learn these things. Talk to me about Fashion Week. This thing has taken on such an energy about it.
It really takes over the city. But I started, Fern Malice, who was a friend of mine, I met on a trip to Russia a long time ago, another story. She was starting a thing called Fashion Week, which was, 7th on 6th. And she said, I need a photographer that can come and just shoot everything for me so I have it as reference. And he said, I can't pay you, but I will give you access to do whatever you want to do. And it should be fun. There's a lot of designers and interesting people. And the whole behind-the-scenes thing, which I kind of love. Let's put on a show.
Yeah.
And so that's been good. I did a book called Intense,
right,
which is, intense, like tense. But it is intense. And it became, 10 years of the fashion tense. Now, Fashion Week you've gone from maybe like 20 or 30 shows to probably like 100. And I'm getting the numbers wrong, but even more. And then the events that are related to fashion. I mean, there's so many events happening that I'm just crazy. My whole company is crazy with all the events going on.
I was going to say, how do you stay on top of all that when
not easily
when you got it all over the city in so many locations and so many different people involved?
Well, that's what was so great about what Fern did, and now IMG owns the fashion shows, is they try to make it easier for the buyers, for the fashion press, for the interested parties, for the designers, so that the same security, the same teams go in and out. So in other words, you can go to show at 9 o'clock and go to the show at 10 o'clock and not be late. You can even stop and have a cup of coffee because they're right near each other. And obviously Marc Jacobs and other different people will do things off-site. And different years, people decide, well, I want to have, the Taj Mahal this year. But all in all, the Fashion Week works so well because people know where they're going. So you don't, and think of the cab fare. Sorry, cab drivers, but we do save a lot of money on cab fare, not having it, and then the traffic. And
talk to me also about, this is a stellar event, but we're in a time where the economy certainly has changed over the last year or so.
It has.
Does Fashion Week ever give you, can you walk into a Fashion Week in a year and say, you can tell things have changed out there in the real world?
I did notice like some army type looks, when the war started. I did notice that, I must have been. But you'll notice everything in Fashion Week. I mean, there's themes definitely come up. Everyone's trying to tie it all together, but I think so many designers beat to their own interests, which is why Marc Jacobs particularly is one of these characters, designer and a character, who does what he wants to do, and everybody wants to know what he's going to do because he's kind of, kooky, brilliant. And a lot of designers are designing for their customer. So you have a Nicole Miller, she knows her customer. You have a Vera Wang, she knows her customer. And so they design things that their people will buy or expect from them. And then maybe a few things that they wouldn't expect. And then the men's shows, too. I mean, men have to dress. Look at you and me. We have to go and wear nice outfits. And
we try.
We try to look, professional, all that. So you do have to kind of keep up. And things do. I'm a little rough on suits.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, if you do what I do, you gotta wear one. But you're seeing a comeback of suits, it appears. Men are dressing again.
Well, I mean, men have always had to dress almost all the time. It's not
especially
just for
in this
weddings
city,
and funerals, but I mean, people really do have to dress. Urban people have to dress, but even people all over the country want to have a few nice things, and they want to have a lot of casual things too. So being able to get that kind of casual, in this new, in the PMC magazine, I'm going to try to show it all. I will try to show, both casual, chic. I think mostly it's going to be geared to the very trendy-ish type, or people that are curious to know what they don't know.
Cutting-edge kind of stuff.
Cutting-edge kind of things, and we'll try to show all that, because I think fashion is so subjective of what's good, and like what's good to you.
Depends.
I mean, you can't be wearing like a green suspenders and people would say on Bloomberg. I mean, maybe on April Fool's Day.
Green is the color of money.
Right? That's true.
We got to leave it there, but we're going to be obviously looking online on the iPhone to find you and the magazine, and it'll just be right there. We can.
Yeah, and there's on PatrickMcMullan.com. You can just go anyway and just see everything.
Well, see, who could ask for anything more than that? Patrick, thanks for coming on in.
Thanks, Mike.